Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to LeTip Live. I want to remind you guys that we are live on Facebook and YouTube. So any comment you put in the comment section or a question, we can actually bring it up and answer it live with you today. We're very excited because we're going to do a member spotlight. So without any further ado, we're going to bring in our member spotlight, and that is Franklin. Franklin is a business coach, and he helps businesses thrive and be successful and set them on the right direction. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Frank.
Hey Doug, how are you?
How you doing, buddy?
Good.
How are you?
Awesome.
So I don't know if you could tell, I have my Boca shirt on for you. I don't know if you could tell, but these are like flowers. So this is
flowers
my
or palm trees?
A little bit of both.
Good, I like it. No, perfect.
Good mixture.
Yes, very nice.
So I guess we'll start there. You're in the Boca chapter, right?
I am in the Boca Raton. I'm the president of the Boca Raton chapter. I've been the president for a year now. Very exciting times. I took over exactly 3 days after COVID hit, and when we've been running it virtual ever since. And we've actually had 2 in-person mixers that have been just out of this world. I mean, people getting together and sharing new ideas and being able to, shake hands and give hugs. It's just been incredible. So we've been excited about that. And we're going to be going live in July 1st. So we're going to take the chapter back live.
Nice. I don't know if you've seen, but we've been doing these virtual mixers. And we'll definitely have to get the Boca chapter in on a virtual mixer so we can showcase you guys. But the first and foremost, the question I like to ask everyone first is, what does LeTip mean to you and your experience with LeTip?
It's interesting. You never know what to expect when you first start any networking group. I was very fortunate I was brought in by not the past president, but the president prior to that, John Faber. He was actually the person who brought me in. I was just checking out chapters, and he was the warmest guy, very welcoming. And I was like, this is just one guy. And then I went and sat in on a chapter for 2 meetings, and it was just like, they were all very welcoming. And it was very unique feeling. When they used to say the 5 reasons to join LeTip, and one of them was chapter becomes like a family, I would chuckle to myself like, yeah, I can't believe that. But as of now, I look at them as my extended family. I mean, they really are. I think of LeTip as connections to people that I normally don't have connections to, that relational, being able to share in those, extension, the source of referrals that we'd be able to, branch out my network, people that I don't have. To be able to say I have a banker in my group, or to have a photographer or a web designer, social media expert. Those are things that help my business, the people that I coach. And, I've never been able to not have somebody in my group. So I look at it as relational capital, people that are there for my use and to be able to help my business owners thrive.
Awesome. Yeah. And some of your fellow family members, if you will, are here watching us right now, and they're actually commenting. We got Karen says Boca. And Adam says hi from LeTip of Boca Raton. So they're all here. They're all supporting you, as they should, now that they're your new quote unquote family. So how long have you been in LeTip?
I've been in LeTip since 2016. I actually was looking, it's interesting because one of the things that I would always tell my clients is that you have to get into a networking group. And at the time, I wasn't really involved with any networking groups aside from going out and doing networking. And I started telling myself, if I'm pitching this to my clients, I got to kind of do the same thing. And so I started searching for groups. I checked out the local chapters of other organizations, and they didn't have what I was looking for. I was nervous about, it being a coffee clutch and, clicky and all the things that come with it. It's all just programming and belief systems that we have within ourselves. And we start to, put up shields. And, but the LeTip chapter, the Boca chapter was, again, it was a very warm, at the time, Joe Scandata was president, and he ran a good chapter. to be able to see him and his board at the time, the way that they ran it was exceptional. And so for me, it was a great opportunity to be able to really step in and say, now this is kind of a home feeling. I could utilize the talents of the people around me and be able to share that, again, share those sources with the people that I work with.
Awesome. So we are live, and I want to remind you guys that if you have any questions, you could put them in the comments section and we can answer them live. We want to make sure we're providing the most value possible for you guys tuning in and make this as interactive as possible. So get your questions ready. Start putting in the comments section. In the meantime, Frank, any hobbies, or we know you live in Boca, any hobbies, anything you like to do in your spare time?
It's interesting that that comes up. I could actually say that I don't reveal this too often, but I will reveal it today. I do love to cook. Okay.
Nice.
So I spend a lot of time cooking, and believe it or not, again, I don't reveal this too often, but I love to clean. I know that's kind of weird, but yeah, I just, keeping a nice, clean home. My wife loves it, of course. Any woman wouldn't,
Nice.
right? To have a man that cooks and cleans is kind of odd, but I do love doing it. It's just it's actually relaxing, so it gives me an opportunity to think. So I'm kind of always thinking about new ideas and new strategies for business owners. So it gives me that opportunity to kind of take my head out and really start to and focus on a good meal, or cleaning a room and organizing and putting things, getting rid of things that we don't use, and really focusing on those things kind of takes my mind off of it so that I can actually come back with a fresh head. So cooking and cleaning is something that I love to do. Aside from that, I work out. I try to do 5K, 3 times a week. My wife and I bike ride, 10K twice a week. Again, we like to eat healthy, and we've got 2 small dogs that keep us occupied for a good portion of our lives. 2 small miniature pinchers that we love probably more than any family member. So that they keep us going, which is great. So that's kind of my hobbies.
Nice. So you mentioned cooking. Favorite dish, favorite food?
Well, I'm a vegan, so I don't eat any meat. So my favorite food is coming up with new ideas on how to put together a meal that actually is meatless. A lot of vegetables, a lot of fresh fruits. I'm not real big on organic, but I do believe in pasta. I love a good pasta meal.
Nice.
So anything that involves like pasta and nuts and berries, as most people say. But putting together those meals, I try to stay slim, and that helps. So but yeah, anything that I can kind of come up with. I got a client that I work with. His wife's actually a vegan cook, and she does a lot of stuff online. So I go on there and check out her recipes and come up with pizzas and tacos and all kinds of fun stuff. And then my wife gets to try them. So she's the one who tries all the food, and she benefits, I guess.
Awesome. So we have our first question here. Scott Jones asks, what do you think you brought to the chapter as the new president, which led you guys to chapter of the year?
I love that question, Scott. I think one of the things that we did that was different was that when I took over the chapter after Joe stepped down, one of the things I wanted to do was run it like a business. I wanted our chapter and our board to be able to run their positions as if they were running a company. I'd ran companies in the past. I've had my own company, several companies that I've ran on my own. I've had teams on my own, and I in bringing that to the chapter, that's how I wanted to run it. I wanted my chapter to be run like a business. So I don't micromanage my board. They come to me with ideas. They say, hey, we'd like to try this, or we think that this will work. From my tip master to my vice president, my treasurer, again, they do what they do best, and I don't interrupt them in any way. They thrive. I mean, we got social media chair of the year. Again, she just takes and runs with it. And that's pretty much what I do differently. I don't think that, they say I lead them, but my job is just to make sure that, they have the resources that they need to thrive. Again, just like a business. So that's kind of what I do a little differently. As far as chapter of the year, again, great question. I think it's because we work as a team, which is another thing that I wanted to bring to our chapter, was the team unity. Not that we didn't have it, but I really wanted us to work as like a sports team, what talents everybody had, and you really utilize those talents and really let them have the opportunity to show those talents. Again, Marilyn, our social media chair, she was very talented in social media. She didn't have that opportunity to really thrive. So I said, have at it. Let's see what you got. And she's been exceptional, and those are the things that for me, I like. It's exciting because as in a sports team, who's the best free thrower, who's the best, center, who's the best at what they do. And if you notice any great sports figure, their coach actually told them, this is your position, dominate it. And they did. So that's kind of the difference that I did with my chapter.
Nice. And I feel like I'm already going to know the answer to this question. I feel like that's what you kind of tell business owners that you coach, is that you delegate and then kind of like get out of the way. Like, don't let them thrive, let them be successful, let them do their job. Am I on the right track on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Most business owners, they do have a problem getting in their own way. My job is to go in there with a fresh set of eyes and to really have them step back and take a look at the challenges that they have. One of the greatest things for me is that, I hold them accountable. Every week we go back and we check on the things that they accomplished and what they didn't. And just having that it's like an Olympic athlete, to have a coach nearby. I mean, every great athlete has a coach. I was just reading about how Metallica had a coach. It's like people have coaches for a reason, to see those blind spots that they can't see. And when they utilize that coach and the talents that they have, it's really about asking the right questions. What do you do from here? What are the challenges? How do you overcome them? It's really not about that information. It's about where you're putting the information. And I always say you can give two guys the same book, and one guy's going to say, this is the greatest book I ever read. And another guy's going to go, this is a piece of crap. What is it? It's the operating system. It's the person you're giving it to. So that kind of really ties in with mindset, which is, everybody who knows me as a coach and even my team knows that mindset is very important, especially when you're trying to really develop the peak performance of individuals and really share with them some of the things that they need to do. It all starts mentally.
Awesome. We have another question from Karen, who we talked to not too long ago. So Karen asks, what recommendations would you give a tenured member who is struggling with getting tips?
That's a great question. I think for me, the best way is to really do your one-on-ones, partnerships. We have Brad Walls is our he's our one-on-one coach, I'd say, and he makes sure that everybody gets together. And being able to do that is you don't know the facets of somebody's resources until you get together with them and really start to share in some of the things that they do outside of what their normal business is. Another great example, Joe Scandato, past president. You get together with Joe, and he's got a vast array of resources that do not just apply to banking. They're just people that he knows. And those are some of the people and where other tips can come from. So I highly suggest putting together your one-on-ones and making sure that they're following through on that. Brad actually does an exceptional job, visitation chair. And what he does is he actually now puts two people. So again, for me, I had to meet with two people this past month and get together with them and find out new information about the people that you're working with. Again, we always talk, Doug, LeTip is our sales force. I mean, that's the truth. So your sales force needs to be equipped with the information to go out and sell you. If they just think you're just a banker, that's not going to get you very far. But if you're a banker who specializes in helping small business owners or specializes in helping people coming to the state of Florida, it makes it easier for them to really connect, have that connectability and that building that relational capital, as we were talking about. And building rapport. It's very important. So I highly suggest, Karen, I think it's a great question, is get together with your chapter members, one-on-one visitations, critical.
Absolutely. And I just want to, remind you guys again, because people are tuning in and out as we speak. So if you're new watching with us right now, we are live on Facebook and YouTube. And if you ask a question in the comments section, we can answer it live. So don't be shy. Don't be bashful. We've held Frank captive here, and we're going to make him answer all of our questions. So continuing on, I would also, based on the last question, I also say, it's more about building the relationships, and those things will happen long term. I know in sales, we call it commission breath. Like, people could tell you're selling. So, we kind of teach and train people to kind of, just provide value, and everything else will take care of itself.
Absolutely.
So Karen also says she loves the visitations, and she's shooting for a 1 in a week. So
Good.
there you go,
That's
Karen.
great. Awesome job, Karen.
What is your chapter goal for 2021? Any goals?
Yeah, we as a chapter, we had a 90-day challenge, which was kind of remarkable. We put together a 90-day challenge. We put a point structure together. We built teams. And the reason I did it twofold. One, that I wanted the chapter to realize the power of coaching, and that by having a team and putting them together, that they share in the excitement of building something from the ground up, so to speak. So we had 5 teams. We had 5 team captains, and we took the team captains, which were the highest tippers for the year. They became the 5 team captains. They actually had 5 chapter members underneath them, and every week they would have to come in and tell us how many tips they got, how many guests they brought. And we broke so many records, Doug. It's unbelievable. I actually got nervous because
Awesome.
it actually ended, and I'm like, how do we follow up with this?
Let's do it again.
I've thought about
Change
it.
the teams. We're doing it again.
People were helping each other. We had more guests than we ever had before. We had the highest tipping month. I think it was like 68, 69 tips in one month. For us, it was we blew it out of the water. People were getting together, and it's just the idea of people having to be accountable to other people that make us perform at a different level. And I've seen it 100 times with business owners, and I thought, I'm going to try it with the chapter. I know it's going to work, but I want them to see it in action. And I think they were all blown away by it too. It's just to be able to have the camaraderie. People that you never thought were competitive came out of the woodwork, and they were challenging each other, and it was just great. So I think going into the new year, 2021, I think we want to really increase ways to help each other grow, help the businesses that maybe did suffer a little bit. How can we help them get more tips and really be able to share in those new ideas? I'm a big firm believer in trying something new. If it doesn't work, we go back to the way it was. But let's give it a shot. Let's try something different. Let's try something new. And maybe somebody hasn't tried it before, and that's great. So let's break some ground. And again, the 90-day challenge was just an incredible opportunity to see what people are capable of, and they do incredible things.
Idea. Yeah, we're stealing it. So I'm going to bring that to my chapter. We're stealing it.
I'll send you all the paperwork.
and that's kind of like why we're doing, stuff like this LeTip Live, and spotlighting you, is so other chapters can learn and implement the stuff that's working. So I think it's safe to say that you are enjoying your time in LeTip, and LeTip is, very beneficial for your business. Correct?
Yeah. It is. It's incredible opportunity for me. I mean, I love the tips. I mean, it's the greatest thing. But for me to be able to turn to a client and say, I have someone that can help you, it is very, very powerful. I'll tell you a cute story. I had my niece. She actually moved to Arizona. She's living in the Chicagoland area, and that's where I'm from originally. And she moved to Arizona. She got a job, and she's working for a car dealership, and she's knocking it out of the park. And she got on a call with me. She said, Uncle Frank, what do you recommend? I mean, I'm thinking about starting my own networking group. I'd really like to get together. And I said, you need to look up LeTip. And she's like, oh, never heard of them. And I said, well, I'm going to make a call. And I called Bear, who is actually the vice president over there in Camelback, LeTip of Camelback. Had a great conversation, great guy. I mean, again, LeTip members, they're just connectability's there all over the place. And he said, he goes, I'll take care of her. You just give her my number. I'll take care of her. And he did. And she's called me today and she's like, this group is unbelievable. They're so nice. I learned how to do a 30-second commercial. I was, she's all excited about it. So, and I think I get another badge, which is kind of cool. I get a new color badge. She joins.
Nice. What color is that going to be?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
Nice.
We'll see.
Nice. So yeah, great experience in LeTip. We love to hear that. It is a great family, as you said, and I can attest to it. Everyone's trying to help each other win. Let's shift gears. Unless you guys have some more questions, you guys could still put them in the comments section. Let's shift gears a little bit and let's talk about your business. Is there what you're all about and what's your mission?
A great question. I think for me, I really want to have the opportunity to help other business owners really grow their business. I know it sounds so canned, but the difference for me is that it starts mentally, and the way you approach your business. It's really the psychology of the business owner that really chokeholds the entire business. And I've seen it over and over again. And you almost can't walk into a business and say, you don't have it together here. So you kind of have to tiptoe into that and really lay down a map, and they start to see it, I've worked with clients who, have self-talk that's not conducive to their business. They have cognitive dissonance. They're doing one thing and then doing something else. I mean, all the things that kind of come with that mental aspect of it. But the challenges, the fears, the things that, business owners try to overcome on a daily basis is incredible. And for me, I challenge myself every day to do things that, I normally don't want to do. Do you think I want to get up and jog 5K? No, I don't. But I'm not in competition with my mind. It's not going to win. In my own personal belief, it starts with me saying this is going to happen whether you like it or not like it or not. The body has a tendency to say, let's just kick back and relax today. And the mind will easily follow and say, okay. And that happens in businesses too, that somebody's told them it wasn't good. Again, we talked a little bit about salespeople and how do we feel about salespeople? Do we think that they're, sneaky? Do we think that, we have to tear away all those beliefs and kind of rebuild that business owner to really take charge and really do something different with their business. And I love it. It's just incredible to see people. It's funny because this is a true story. I got a picture of a client laying on the beach. This is the truth. And he hasn't been able to lay on the beach in years, and he's got time now to kick back on the beach. And that's exciting for me to be able.
Absolutely.
To have somebody who doesn't have time to do anything. I mean, packed so much with so many things, and to be able to pull themselves away and actually, as a business owner, go lay on the beach. That's freaking amazing.
Absolutely. So, if you can, I would, the knee-jerk reaction would be asked, like, if you got like 3 tips that you can give our audience. I'm not going to put that much pressure on you, but do you have like a free tip or a suggestion or something helpful that you can, spread the word on and help our audience out with? Absolutely.
The 3 things that I really focus on are always mindset. And to start your main mindset is to get away from negative people. Okay. Whatever they are. And sometimes they're closest to us. That would be the first thing under mindset. The second thing under mindset is to really pay attention to your rituals. What are you doing on a daily basis? I tell my clients, okay, tell me where you want to be, and then tell me what you're doing on a daily basis. And then what's ever not happening in the middle, we need to get you there. So that really is the key. So your who you're hanging around with, what your rituals are, and then of course what you're paying attention to. Doug, there's so many distractions out there. It's not even incredible. It's so incredible. Whether it's television, I tell my clients, shut the TV off, shut the news off, shut that stuff off. It does nothing for your mindset, but make it dirty. I had one of my coaches tell me, he said, TVs make you stupid. And and I always remember him saying that to me. And I've shut my TV off. I have not watched the news or any kind of media in probably 10 years. And I try to keep that part of my mind clear, because when you get clogged with that, it's just like a car. Your oil gets gunky and your mind starts to sputter off because it's thinking of stuff that doesn't matter. It's not what you should be focusing on. The second thing is your methodology. What are you doing to put together the right methods to help you move forward, whatever those are, the processes that you have within your business. A lot of people don't really take that methodology and that process and move it forward. They just kind of do the same things. You have to take a step back, take a look at what your business is doing, what it's not doing, and really focus on some new objectives. Bring in some fresh eyes. Have people look at those things, those processes. When it comes to teams, I am a high proponent believer in talk to your people. Anybody who has their 6 feet of space around them, they own that. And you as a business owner need to talk to your people and say, hey, what can we do to make it better? What am I doing that could be better? A lot of business owners don't want to do that. And that helps the processes move forward, because then they'll tell you, hey, you know what? This isn't working, and this is what we can do better. The third thing is momentum. And that's really what coaching is all about. How do you keep that momentum moving forward on a regular basis? Whatever that might be. You need to read more. The things you're putting inside your head have to really be about focusing on where you want to take your business. Anything that you put in your head, it's very important. I always say that if you wouldn't tell a 6-year-old, little boy or little girl, the stuff that's going in your head, then you probably don't need it in yours either. So make sure that that's a clean slate for you to really focus on what needs to be done. And once you're rolling and things are happening, don't stop. That momentum just keeps you going. So again, mindset, methodology or methods, and then momentum is the key, the top 3 things that I focus on.
Awesome. Thank you. And we want to remind you guys again, we are live. And if you have a question for Frank, we'll answer it right now live. So put it in the comment section. And while you guys are doing that, I'll be a little selfish and ask Frank a question pertaining to our business. So we run a full service production and marketing studio. We take care of various things, social media, video production. This is the podcast studio. So when you're in town one day, hopefully you'll be sitting right there with me, and we'll be live. But any tips, tricks, or advice for a production and marketing studio here?
I think it's interesting as a production studio, and I've worked with a production studio in the past, is that you need to be out there.
Oh yeah.
Be on every social media platform all the time. I mean, you have resources, you have the opportunity, and really brand yourself as that expert. What we don't do normally is that a lot of people talk themselves down when you should be talking yourself up. Take that opportunity. I mean, if you're good at what you do, don't deny that. Get out there and let everyone know how good you are at it. And I had this production company do what I call the 10-day challenge. I like challenges.
Nice.
And I said, you need to post a live video every single day for 10 days. And it was a challenge for them. It was literally a challenge. And I said, get out there, talk about your business, talk about anything that you want that's gonna help the people that are watching. Maybe put together, and they did it, and it was unbelievable. They were like, I'm like, you're a video place, you're do not want to do it, and they're like, it's a challenge. I'm like, well, it's not easy. But just to do that stuff over and over on a regular basis, just keep feeding it.
Yeah. So we actually run social media for businesses, and it's crazy the mentality sometimes with these businesses that they're scared to put stuff out there and talk about how great they are, or they expect to put a television commercial on social media. Social media is a different beast. There's different rules. You want to put your best foot forward, of course, but you don't need to overthink it. You can have an Instagram story being like, hey, we're in New York City and we're trying this pizza. Like, not everything has to be a fully produced television commercial. It's more behind the scenes, day in the life, and interacting with your followers and fans, like we're doing right now, and we're
Absolutely.
live. So that's great advice, and it's great stuff. And it seems like you like challenges. So I played lacrosse. I played lacrosse in college. I played a little pro in Canada, but it seems like you are an athlete as well. I know you said you were running, but is there any sports in particular that you like?
It's interesting because I actually did the Tough Mudder race. I don't know if you're familiar with Tough Mudder,
Nice. Yeah.
but it's a 25 obstacle, 12 to 15-mile run in mud. Most of it's in mud, and and my wife was like, "Why are you doing this?" And I'm like, "Challenge." As anyone who knows me knows, Frank's going to challenge himself one way or the other. And so I ran this freaking race. And one of the things I didn't realize was that I thought I ran 3 miles, I did 5K. I thought, that's good enough. But about 10 miles in, I was like starting to feel it. And, obstacles, I had to, swim through ice and jump through fire and, hang from this. And I put my mind and my body through what I thought was pretty tough stuff. But the whole idea is that we have to get ourselves out of a comfort zone, Doug, all the time, because we tend to get comfortable in everything we do. Our businesses, our lives, our weight, everything is just comfort, and we look for it. It's just human nature. We're looking for comfort. We have to take ourselves out of that comfort zone on a daily basis. That's my personal opinion. Every day, do something that makes you uncomfortable, whatever it is. Like I said, I take cold showers in the morning. I'm not a fan of it. But I do it because it makes me feel uncomfortable. It's something that I have to do. So to stand
you're telling
in
your brain that you're in charge, like you're telling the body what you're going to do.
Absolutely.
I like it.
So the run is I talked to my wife about it afterwards, and she's my biggest fan and my soulmate, and she's like, well, so what'd you learn? I'm like, you can't imagine the conversation you have with yourself on a 4-hour run. And going through obstacles. I mean, you talk to yourself. You want to overcome these obstacles, and you have to feed yourself with the positivity that will get you past those challenges. They had these little carts that would drive by. If you couldn't make it, you would cross your arms like this, and they would throw you on the cart and take you back to the finish line. And I'm like, I am not getting in that cart. I will crawl across the finish line. I will not get in that cart. So again, challenge yourself every day. I think it's the greatest thing for your mind,
Awesome. Last chance, guys. If you want to put a question in the comments section, I advise you do it soon because we're coming to the tail end. So just reminding you, we are live. So please, last chance, questions in the comments section. And so Frank, when it comes to the future of LeTip or any events or anything that's coming up, is there anything that you're excited about? What's going on? Anything coming up?
Yeah, we just had our membership mixer, and we had it at a restaurant. And our membership mixer chair was kind of excited about it because he hasn't been able to put anything together for a year. And it was just incredible. I mean, I was so excited to be able to get together with the team and to talk and to shake hands. And it's just like, so this last week. We said, John, we said, what do you got planned? He's like, take it easy. We just got done with the one. So we're already squeezing them for the next exciting mixer. But again, we're looking forward to getting together and really, really sharing new ideas with each other. And we're hoping that, it's going to be hard to beat the last one because we all had a really good time. The food was unbelievable. The company was unbelievable. And again, we met people we never met before, which was very interesting because we got about 5 to 6 members off of our virtual while we were virtual, and we never met them personally. So to see them live, it was incredible. It was very touching. People like Tony Moonen, who's far away, and Joe Scanzo, and people that that we didn't know until we saw them live, and to be able to shake their hands or give them a hug or a pat on the back was very touching. Very nice opportunity. So we're looking forward to more of that.
Great stuff. Anything else you'd like to share with our viewers while we have their undivided attention?
Sure, absolutely. I think I can go for days. I think
me too. We'll be here all night. There's no time limit.
That's right. I think that really want to stress the benefit of LeTip and the family orientation that it really gives off. I've been part of the happy hour and the lunch bunch, which was something that Paul put together, to help us through the COVID situation. And it was just, it turned out to be an incredible family opportunity. I mean, people sharing ideas and really helping each other through it. Carl Casola with his production company, he started off and he was very nervous and scared. And, he had so many people to reach out to, and Maria Diaz, and when her business took, a turn, and, what she didn't know what to do. And, all these people that I met on these calls were people that I never even thought I would meet. Yourself included. I mean, it's just to be able to get together with people that are in other states across the country and really meet the people that have made LeTip what it is, was a great feeling. And I think that opportunity is missed by a lot of the chapters. Get on a call with people across the country and see how they're doing things. Because there's so many new ideas. I always get off our call and I say, there's $1 million worth of opportunities right on this call.
100%.
You got to share in those opportunities. So think about if we got together with all the other chapters, how much is that worth? So
right. It's so great that. Go ahead. I was going to say, it's so great that you have the family of your own chapter, but to be able to say, like, a friend is in like Boca Raton and we're like, hey, I'm looking for this. You have a whole network of people at your disposal that you can refer them to. Yeah. And that goes global. It's like, it goes across the nation.
I had a Karen Young, who's a HR expert. I had a client, she gave me her book. Karen has a book, and my client's like, what do you read? I'm like, this is a book on HR. And he's like, I need that book. And I actually gave it to him. And I told Karen, I said, you might end up getting a call from a guy from Boca Raton, because HR is another hard part of business. So to have her there, I don't have anyone in my chapter who's in HR. I don't have a virtual assistant for Maria. I don't have, like, all these people that are out there. I don't have them. So again, I reached out to, several people on those calls to get it. Lynn Shepard, another one. I mean, he's got this great product. And to be able to, get on a call with Lynn and really, learn some new stuff about, technology. I mean, it's just a vast array of information. I used to say that YouTube is the place to go if you want answers, but I really think it's LeTip.
I like it. That's a good quote. I might have to quote you on that. That might be, we're putting that in the next LeTip t-shirt. You might find answers on YouTube, but the real answer is LeTip. I like it. We have to make it. We might have to make a t-shirt. So, we're coming to the tail end. Is there any questions, comments, concerns you have for me?
How did you come up with Undefeated as your name?
So I'm like I said, I played lacrosse. I'm an athlete. So, it's kind of like that athlete mentality where we're playing to win. But I also believe that if you lead with love, if you never quit, you'll never lose. So you might have some short-term losses. You might come up some obstacles, but if you never quit and you follow your dream and you keep going, you never lose if you never quit. That's kind of the mentality. So we provide a service where we're kind of like your right-hand man trying to help your business be successful in a different way than you. You're more like the operation. We're trying to help the business grow in more of a social media, video, digital presence kind of world. And we're trying to help our clients in any way we can to help them be successful. And the whole mindset is, if we never quit. So like, for example, like people will put up, I'm sure you hear this all the time. They'll put up 1 or 2 social media posts and think that 50,000 people are going to line up at their door at their store and buy from them. No, this is a longer game. You need to do stuff like every day, constantly putting your message out there. And it might take a month. It might take 2 months. It might actually take a year before you even see results. But you got to chip away at it and keep going and going and going. Because it is a longer game. No one opens up their doors in business and the next day, sold out. You know what I mean? You have to. There's a process to things, and there's an order of operations, and I'm preaching to the choir here. It's just like you gotta do, the right thing consistently. So that's kind of where Undefeated.
What are your biggest challenges that you have?
My biggest challenge is I've literally had business owners tell me Facebook is stupid. It'll be gone in a year. And then those same business owners, when COVID happened, were reaching out to me, freaking out, being, we got to get on Facebook. So the biggest challenge for me is because I'm bringing like new things to the table that they might not even heard of yet, like TikTok. TikTok is a newer app, but it's the same conversation that people had like 5 years ago with Instagram. Instagram's for the kids. Only the kids are on Instagram. Everyone's on Instagram now. It's the same thing with TikTok. All the kids are on TikTok dancing, but guess what? TikTok's going to be the new thing. And then there'll be another new thing. There was MySpace. MySpace is no longer a thing anymore. Now it's more Facebook. These things are constantly changing. And now, especially with the cryptocurrency and NFTs, which are basically digital art that you can transfer and sell to each other, it's a whole nother realm of stuff where the biggest struggle for me is that people are talking to me. They want to do Google AdWords or the Yellow Pages, and we're trying to get them to do 10 steps ahead. We're trying to get them places for most of cost-effective marketing. The best form of marketing is a Super Bowl commercial, but we all don't have $7 million to spend, so we want to do cost-effective things. Coca-Cola, Budweiser, they're not dumping their $1 million budgets into Facebook and Instagram. So we can get a lot of reach, a lot of interaction with our customers because they haven't dumped that big budget because they're run by, an older generation. They're doing things their own way. But once they dump in that big budget, it's going to make the prices go up for everybody else. So we're trying to do things before the big whales jump in and muddle up the water. We're trying to do things first and put them in cost-effective places to get the attention where the eyeballs are. Would you rather, people are on the phone. This is the most powerful marketing tool right now. People are on this 24/7. Whereas a television commercial comes on, the first thing they do, they open up their phone, they're on social media until their TV show comes on. So we try that the biggest struggle for us is trying to help the business owner understand that. And we're trying to get the attention of the eyeballs of their customers.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Now, how long you been doing it?
So my story is a little crazy. So basically, I started film and production in 2008. I had a friend in the business, and it was my junior year of college, and he brought me on my first job, and my first job was Macy's, and he said, "You're going to work for free, and if they like you, they'll invite you to the next job." So I worked a week with Macy's, and sure enough, Friday they come to me and they're like, "Hey, Doug, are you available next week?" And I was like, "Sure." Like, what's the job? And they were like, "Victoria's Secret." And I was like, "I'm in." And I'll work for free for that one too. And then I had a lot of cool jobs. Victoria's Secret, the Emmys. Probably my favorite was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, where they flew me out to LA for a week, and for a straight week, I would sit front row with Tom Hanks's son. I forgot what his name was. Tom Hanks's son would sit with me front row as we watch all the band. Yeah, we watch all the bands practice and with each other. So I was watching Foo Fighters play with Rush and Usher and Beyonce. Like, they're all practicing, and I was getting like private concerts for a straight week, sitting front row with Tom Hanks's son. But then from there, I got wrapped up in a marketing firm, and I was doing stuff for DirecTV and AT&T, Verizon. And long story short, I looked at my experience, and I had all this professional, high quality film experience. I also had experience doing marketing, social media, running a team, running a business. So I merged them together and made an all-in-one solution, helping business owners in their digital presence. So you're not chasing down the website guy to get the video to give to him to post the video. Like, we kind of trying to make like a one-stop shop. But I've been doing this stuff since like 2008. And in high school, Brian's in the studio behind the scenes here helping me out. Me and Brian went to the same high school. We had a TVP class, and basically you got a camera and you got to run around school and make videos and not go to class. So it was a no-brainer for me. And that's where I fell in love with this kind of stuff. I got to run around with the camera. But it's been a nice journey, and it's great to talk to someone like you, because we're doing different things, very different things, but we have the same mindset and mentality. And and as you said, that's one of the most important things. And that's kind of like why, we call ourselves Under Via Media, because if you have the right mindset and never quit, you can never lose. And while we're on the topic of company names, how can people find you?
You can
Where
find
should we
it with,
send them?
yeah, you can send them to gettheedgecoachinggroup.com.
Okay.
That's the easiest way to find and find out about me. I mean, they could email me also. They
Uh-huh.
have that opportunity. But again, I have a YouTube channel and all the fun things that come with it, you know.
Nice.
And it's interesting because I was having a conversation with a client, and incidentally, I wrote screenplays when I was in my 20s, and
Nice. Let's
and
make a
so
movie.
yeah, exactly. And so I actually had it was an interesting topic. Is it kind of went off on
Hmm.
the movie thing, but I'd
Hmm.
written a screenplay, and it's funny. I was telling my wife about it. You know, I started right out of high school. I loved to write. I just loved it. And so I was writing movies, and I got together with a coach of mine, and he was teaching me how to write them. And I always tell this story because this is really how it is with clients. Is that I handed him my first screenplay, and I'm like, oh, this is the greatest. And he took it home and he read it and he brought it back, and so I'm like waiting for the feedback, and the
Hmm.
rewrite notes. And so he's looking through it, and he's like, well, you need to really focus on some main character and some of the things like that. And I'm looking at this guy, and I'm like thinking to myself, he's giving me a line of crap. And, and his name was Dan, and he's the greatest guy ever. I mean, he taught me so much about
Hmm.
screenwriting. And I said, Dan, I want you to give it to me straight. Just,
Hmm.
don't hold any bars. And he's like, this is a piece of shit. And I'm like, oh. And I said, you know what? And I tell my wife this. I said, you know what is interesting is that I didn't take it to heart. I went home and I rewrote that thing over and over and over again. And as you know from being in the movies and productions, is that it
Hmm.
takes you get to rewrite them over and over. Is that
Yep.
people have to be able to take that feedback and really apply
Hmm.
it. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. Somebody needs to tell you that it's crap. And you need to say that
Hmm.
it's not working. You need to say that you need to do something better. You need to have somebody who's going to be honest with you and really approach
Hmm.
your business and your life like that. To refocus and take some outside feedback isn't an easy thing to do. It wasn't
Hmm.
easy at 20, and it's not any easier at my age now. But
Hmm.
at least to be able to express and learn more, and that's the key to really coaching companies and individuals on performances, to be able to say, all you need is a small tweak here or a small tweak there, and it changes
Hmm.
everything. It really does. It changes the course of your business or your life.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's probably one of the harder things in what you do, because it's definitely something that we have to tiptoe around. Is basically telling a business owner, you need to work on this, you need to work on that, we need to fix this. And I'm not a business coach, so I'm not trying to tell them how to run their business, but like you're trying to direct them, like, hey, maybe we should, instead of putting X amount of dollars on a Google ad or the yellow pages, maybe we should direct it here. We get more bang for the buck. And that seems to be, for me, that's kind of like the hardest thing about our business, trying to, like, without telling them they're wrong, trying to gear them in the right direction. I'm sure you have
Yeah,
similar issues.
absolutely, absolutely. And I love what you're doing for LeTip. It's an awesome opportunity.
Thank you.
I'm glad you chose me, and I'm honored. Again, I hope I was able to give some information to help not only business owners but help some LeTip members to grow their chapter and to really think differently about their chapter, because again it really is the heartbeat. I told this to my chapter a couple of weeks ago. I said networking is going to come back full force, and
Mm-hmm.
the tip is going to be in the forefront of this. We've been doing it a long time. Those
Mm-hmm.
people that have been doing it the longest are the ones that are going to benefit. And I see LeTip growing exponentially over the next year or two. So again, jump on
100%.
board. I think it's just to be able to have that opportunity to have those people that and to really build that relationship checkbook, is a great thing for any business owner.
Yeah, and we didn't expect this pandemic, and I firsthand saw businesses that if they weren't in the tip during the pandemic, and we all rallied behind them and helped them out, they might not be in business right now.
That's
So
it.
it was a huge safety net, if you will. During the pandemic, we all had each other's back, and like you said, it's like a big family. I did put up your website before, but I'm sure I want to direct people to your Instagram as well, because I'm sure that's a little easier for them to comprehend, if you will. So what's your Instagram?
It's at Coach Frank Lind.
Mm-hmm. There you go, guys.
Yep, that's it. Or you can go to the Get the Edge coaching page, which is at Get the Edge Coaching. So
awesome. So this was a great chat, Frank. It was a pleasure. Please check out Frank. There's his Instagram one more time. And if you are a member or a chapter and you're looking to get more involved with our member spotlights or our LeTip lives, please send me an email, doug@undefeatedmedia.com. We would love to get more members on these and broaden our reach. But that's all I got, Frank. You did great. This was great learning about you and hanging out with you today.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, now I'm gonna go make dinner. So
awesome. Before you make dinner, though, we got to play our outro music here. So let's get a little outro music here. Okay. Thank you guys for watching.
Thanks.